Hello, boys and girls. Shall we start?
We'd like to say that, in our opinion, it is not suitable for children or for those of you who may have a nervous disposition.
Good morning, good morning. It's great to stay up late. Good morning to you.
Well, what are we up to this week? So, as I promised, I would have a look at the March the other week, all right? I thought I'd let the dust settle and then we'll have a little look at it. I'm off the beer, I'm on the coffee, I'm trying to lose some weight. I'm going to try and take this show a little bit more seriously than I have. I'll still have a little bit of fun. I'll still have a little bit of fun with Les. No, not with Les, but have some fun. You know what I mean? So subscribe. I know everyone else does it. I have got my algorithm. No, not my algorithm. The algorithm doesn't like me. So I got my AI to do me a cheat sheet to make it a little bit more friendly, and it might promote this little show. So let's start, shall we? Now, I just can't believe we're going to have a little look at some stuff. But before we do, all this mudslinging from far left, which we'll have a look at in a minute. So we'll bring up now, Gary, far right. Or just the right. I'm more in the centre, but right. Glasses time, even I've done it in big font. Right, free market, capitalism, low taxes, privatisation. Ooh, privatisation. I think you and I, especially in the UK, if we look through Maggie Thatcher, ooh, she privatised everything we own. So that's where I go down in the centre. Economy, free market, capitalism. Oh, we just done that, eh? And I'm only on the coffee. So social, conservative values, traditional, religion, family roles. Yeah, I get all that. Government, limited state in economy, but strong law and order. Now, I think apart from all of this capitalism, this privatisation side, I'm a capitalist, I've been my whole life. Now, let's get on to the far left, because this is all leading up to all this stuff that we're going to have a look at. Far left politics. Opposes capitalism, right? I don't get, if you don't have capitalism, people don't capitalise on stuff. Where does the economy come from? It's, you know, favour socialism or communism. I'll let you think about that one. Support strong wealth redistribution. So basically, the more money you earn, the more they'll take off you and redistribute it to the lazy cunts that don't fucking want to work. Anti-corporate. Oh, Jesus. There's got to be a balance, eh? There's got to be. So I'll just leave that up there. But look, communism. Anarchism. Radical socialism. Economic socialism. How's that doing in the UK? How's that getting on with all them high taxes and you've got 4 times more higher bills than the rest of Europe? Central politics, which is more where I am. I do take a little bit out of each. Mix of free markets and government regulation. Support for welfare, but not extreme. I see. What's wrong with that? Social, moderate positions on cultural issues. Yep. Gradual progression on equality and rights. Absolutely. Government role. Balanced approach. Use state power where needed. Respect market forces, which is exactly what they're not doing right now. Examples. Lib Democracy as centralists. I am not a Lib Dem. They're just... Because to me, the modern Lib Dem is more on the far left. Would you not agree? Why am I talking about all of this? Because we are deemed as far right by the lefties. We are not. Who are the racists today? It's the far left, because they're the one doing the mudslinging and the name calling, not the rest of us. So shall we start with the lovely Hannah? I like her. She's cool, eh?
Your real enemy isn't standing next to you, it's pulling the strings above you. In the UK right now, the government, NGOs and media are running the oldest trick in the book, divide and rule. United we stand, divided we fall. And they're banking on us staying divided. Look around. People on the left screaming at patriots, calling them far-right thugs for protesting migrant hotels, while the very politicians they vote for funnel billions into housing unvetted men in towns already at breaking point. Ask yourself, Who benefits from that? Groups like Stand Up to Racism, Hope Not Hate, and their mates in the Labour Party, bankrolled by the same globalist NGOs pushing open borders across Europe. You're being played. Do you really believe what you're fucking shouting? Or are you there just because your uni society told you to be? Or because you're desperate for a cause, any cause, even if it means defending the indefensible? Seriously, fucking wake up. We're not your enemy. We're your neighbours, the ones footing the bill for this. We would welcome you on our side if your side could put the safety of our women, children and streets above the feelings of men arriving on dinghies with no ID.
Get her? I totally 100% agree with everything she says. So let's move on. We are being played. Right, let's move on to this vile man.
Look, before we begin, I want to address the events of this weekend. On Saturday, I was shocked by the violence officers faced, and I've been clear that it's completely unacceptable. I also want to take this opportunity to categorically reject the appalling racism we saw on the capital streets this weekend. As the far right attempts to sow hatred, fear and division, I know many Londoners will be feeling scared. I want to be clear, everyone, no matter their race, faith or background, is welcome here. Now's the time for us to come together as Londoners and proud Brits to reject the far right, as we have done many times before.
This is the London Mayor calling everyday ordinary people far right. I find that absolutely disgusting, and yes, I changed the flag for him because he does not deserve the respect of being in front of that flag. Oh, that just makes me angry. And then we'll just finish off with this little one. This is all scrunched up because I used this in another newsreel last week and I got so angry. This was the Prime Minister, his best mate. People have a right to a peaceful protest. This was a peaceful protest. It is the core of our country's value. Yeah, not his, but it is ours. But we will not stand for assaults on police officers doing their job and for the people feeling humiliated on the streets because of this background in the colour and because of their background colour and their skin. There was no fucking racism at all. And I'm going to show you some clips. Britain is a nation proudly built on tolerance, but we're too tolerant of that fucking arsehole, aren't we? Diversity and respect. Our flag represents our diverse country. When did we become diverse and not British? We will never surrender to those that use it as a symbol of violence, fear and division. Violence, hate, division, all of them words that he is the one, he's the hateful one. He is spreading this dirty, disgusting stuff, just like his best mate, the London Mayor. So, calm down, Gary. Would you imagine if I was on the Kilkenny? Right, so we're going to have a look at Susan Hall. Because this is seriously, follow her. This is seriously important, right? Because this was deemed a hateful rally where over 1 million plus people, even though the news and everything said it was only 100,000 far right thugs. She highlights what's going on because Notting Hill, do your research, 900 odd people got arrested. I think it was 900 odd people got arrested, right? Just bring the stats up, Gary. We'll have a look because I've forgotten. And have a quick look. So that's not, have a look at the Palestinian one because we're going to have a look at them in a minute. Do you see ordinary everyday people being named and shamed? And I said the other day in another reel, call me a racist, call me anything you like, but your words don't hurt me no more. I don't feel embarrassed for being white. I'm not a racist. And I am wearing my Skins Hate the NF, right? When I was a skin in the 80s, and we used to fight all them thugs. Now it should say the Skins Hate the loony left, because they're the hateful ones, not the rest of us. Anyway, you have a look at, listen to this, see how she spins this. You should follow her. She's very, very.
Some of this is alarming, and I've been reading about some of the actions of protesters from a Metropolitan Police commander, and she noted, in carrying out their duties today, our officers have been punched, kicked, spat on, and had objects thrown at them by protesters. Would you agree, as I do, about the abhorrent treatment of police officers at protests.
I completely agree with you, Chair. It's unacceptable. You will have seen in the media today appeals for information on some of the people that the police are investigating. So there'll be continued investigation as to some of the actions that happened there.
Absolutely. But just to clarify, if I may, the words that I've just read to you were in relation to the protests on the 7th of September 2025, with the 893 arrests of Palestinian Action supporters, where 17 people were arrested, for assaults on police officers. Where is everybody's condemnation of the actions of the protesters then?
He's not a racist, I'm not a racist. We're right, not far right. I'm not a Nazi. I just think our country needs to be taken back. And the government needs to stop it and listen.
I don't think he's a racist. I think he's just trying to protect our country.
I think he's like Charlie Kirk, to be honest. He just speaks the truth and no one else wants to.
Yeah. I think they have their own problem, to be honest. So that's their own problem. They have, sometimes they call someone because they have like problem inside themselves. So they're taking out to other people.
I think you'll find he, and I think you'll find he was right. He was the one that first brought up about the rape gangs. Who in their right mind thinks that's the right thing to happen to all our young children? It's not.
He's done his time, he's out and about and he's speaking the truth, and the truth should always come through.
Tell the truth. They know he's not a racist. If you've seen the Panorama thing where he set them up, they were trying to make him out to be a racist. He's not a racist, he's not a womaniser, he's not anything like they say. He's a decent man, coming from a decent background, telling the truth. And that's what we need to put out there, the truth, instead of all the bullshit people come out with about him.
No. There's people from all over that join these marches, and they're friendly. And he's got loads of friends that are from different cultures, nationalities. I think it's a lie, and I think it's propagated by mainstream television, to be perfectly honest with you.
Right.
You can call anybody racist. It's not racist. What he's trying to do is he's trying to do what's right for this country, and he's asking people to show their support for him to get this country back for us.
I'm going to the September 13th protest and seeing how many times I go back to Africa. Oh no. Oh no. So far I've got nothing. Oh wow. Sorry.
Oh, is that straight?
I'm heading. Am I welcome here?
Of course you are.
Sure?
Yeah, New Zealand guys, we've got South Africa with us.
Yeah.
We've got everybody with us.
Yeah.
As long as you love the country, that's all we can. That's all we ask for.
I love Britain! I love Trump! Yeah, I love Trump! I love Trump! I love Britain!
The tinderbox summer of protest promised by activists never truly caught flame. Instead, a slow burn of nationalism may be more powerful for it, and this was the culmination. More than 100,000 people gathering to march in central London, a sea of flags. Unite the Kingdom was the all-encompassing slogan, drawn widely enough to mean different things for different people, whether that was free speech or immigration.
Why are they coming in like that? Surely that's wrong. Why I wouldn't skip on a boat and go to another country and hop off and expect to be, looked after. But apart from that, this is just United Kingdom.
Just to stand up for what I believe in. Yeah. We're losing identity of our country, and somebody needs to stand up and fight for it.
People may have had different reasons, but they came for the same person. At the centre of it all, the anti-Islam activist Tommy Robinson.
Here at the front of March, Tommy Robinson's just there, thick throng of security, heavily protected, giving a lot of cheers, a lot of waves. This march extends a very, very long way behind us. A huge number of people who've turned out today behind that man, Tommy Robinson.
None of his previous rallies had drawn a crowd this big. And what's newer too is the overt displays of Christian nationalism. When the crowd assembled, they were led in a chant of Christ as King, and then the Lord's Prayer.
Tommy Robinson. Before we get to him, before I forget, did you see all them right-wing Nazi thugs with them crosses on? Yeah, all them vicars and priests. Disgusting people, eh? Honestly, the mayor and the Prime Minister came out and called them far-right thugs. Can you believe it? Tommy Robinson, the only reason I'm mentioning him in this piece is because I've done extensive research on that guy. I've most probably watched over 60 hours of interviews with him, and not once have I ever seen any hint of racism. This is a narrative coming from the mainstream media. You've got to get your head round anything that they've ever told you about Tommy Robinson, about him being a rapist, a bully, beating up his wife, an alcoholic. It is not true. Yes, he has been to prison, but the last couple of times was to shut him up. He was in consolatory confinement for 3 months. In the Geneva Convention, you're only supposed to do 14 days because that's deemed torture. He did 3 months. By the establishment, you need to wake the fuck up. Please, honestly, he's not the bad guy out of this. Have a look at the next one.
Those that have participated in this violence will face the full force of the law.
Can I just remind you of something, Keir Starmer? 2 weeks ago, I was in London at Parliament Square. Look at this footage. Harassment, abuse and violence towards police. 926 people were arrested. Where was Keir Starmer and his lovely little podium stand then? Whereas in London the other day, I was literally there, shoulder to shoulder with millions in the pouring rain, the beautiful sunshine, lovely flags everywhere, a peaceful but busy day. Those 26 people that were arrested were antagonised by a minority amount of 5,000 people from the left trying to get into the area where the march was. The hate agenda is clear. People across the nation, the majority of people, have now spoken up. The public agenda has freaking changed. This nation will not accept the of this Labour government anymore. Mark my words, Labour MPs will start defecting. This government won't last much longer, and if they do, we clearly have a tyrannical government in power.
So I will say at this point, please subscribe or share this channel. I'm going to get serious about this now. If you agree with anything that's happened so far, subscribe, share, like, whatever, because you get what's going on. Did you see any of this violence at this peaceful far-right rally? I don't get it. I really don't get how people are so brainwashed into believing that a peaceful rally was worse than that Palestine shit that just went on. And when you look at that Palestine, some more clips coming up. When you look at the Palestine one, right, they're not in riot gear. They're in all their Sunday best, all the police are. But when the police came out on the march the other week, on the 13th of September, they were all in their full riot gear. That's intimidating, with their clubs. All right? So let's have a look at the next one.
The people Starmer calls far right are people who believe in this country, believe in borders, believe in a sovereign United Kingdom, freedom of speech, democracy, getting rid of the EU, equality under the law, very fundamental British things. He finds them far right. He finds them repugnant because Starmer is anti-British. Starmer is ashamed of the country that he has been given responsibility for. And we've got to recognise that. And if you're anti-British, then of course mass migration is fine. He can't even can't bring himself to call illegal migrants illegal. He calls them irregular migrants. I mean, and that basically legalises their illegality, doesn't it? And if you can't get your language right, you haven't got a hope in hell of governing properly. Starmer's anti-British. A lot of people in the Conservative Party are anti-British, anti the British state. And they want to take our borders down. They want us to be part of the EU. They want us to give up our identity. What better way to do it than to import lots of cultures into this country? And what better way to make the case for digital ID than to sow discord? The discord that he says we were bringing at the weekend over the Unite the Kingdom march was nothing. We wanted peace. We want peace. Let me be clear. Starmer, if you're listening, we want peace. He's the one sowing discord. He's the one who'll use that discord to bring in ever more draconian laws. And I just want to say one thing.
Please.
patriots on our side need to be very careful. I hear people on our side saying, bring back capital punishment. Let's give the police more power so that they can clamp down on pro-Palestinian marches, etc. Wake up. The state is against us. You do not want to be giving this state any more power.
You don't. He 100% makes sense. I wouldn't put none of this stuff up if I didn't agree with it, or if I didn't, I'd have a little bit go at him, eh? He's right. I don't see Keir Starmer working for any part of society in the UK. He's trying to divide and do that conquer, and his end game is going to be digital ID, and he's pushing it at the moment saying we'll control any people illegally coming in this country with an ID card. Hang on, so they're rowing across the channel, halfway across. Can't go any further. Why not, mate? Why not? Digital ID, I haven't got a digital ID card. Ah, fuck, who cares? Keep going. How can digital ID cards stop people coming across in the boots? It's a con. He's conning you. The BBC, ITV, Sky, all the red tops, the Times, Independent, Guardian, they're all working against the ordinary person that loves that flag because they're not patriot. So let's have a look at Tommy's spin on this, shall we? See what he says.
So unite the kingdom. The protest you had in London, I saw videos of it. Rob, I don't know if you want to pull it up. The videos look like how many people? I hear numbers. I know the people who don't like you, they said it's 100,000. The videos look like millions are out there. Give me the premise behind the event and how many people was out there. The energy looked amazing with Elon Musk going out there speaking. Maybe tell us a little about the event.
So this is our fifth event. So we started with 30,000. We then went to 100,000. We went to 200,000. And this Saturday we had millions of Brits. Millions. Okay. Now what's funny is watching them say 110,000 without just realising that we had 2 million people watching live on X. So, and then you had millions that would have attended. Everyone there and anyone watching the videos, which are now reaching tens and tens and if not hundreds of millions of people, can see it wasn't 110,000. So they just exposed themselves time and time again. This was the biggest protest in British history ever. Probably doubled the size of any protest. For years, we've heard about the Iraq war protest. It was the biggest thing that this country's ever seen. No, this Saturday, Unite the Kingdom, the British public standing up and saying we're not being replaced and staying silent anymore. You're not having uncontrolled mass immigration, endangering our daughters, endangering our wives, whilst then beating us down with your racist labels, your fascist labels, or your Islamophobic labels. It doesn't wash anymore. It's broken. That has gone. That power that they had to install fear in a nation, because they did successfully for 20 years have everyone whispering. They had everyone whispering. That's gone. And every move they make, it's just backfired. It's literally like a fire's burning and they just keep pouring gasoline on it. Even their response to Saturday, they're just blowing the fire up even more. They're giving us more supporters. Every move they make, I just sit there and think, there's nothing you can actually do here. Yeah? There's nothing you can do to stop what has started. Now, our purpose of Uniting the Kingdom was to bring people together. This is Britain's MAGA. That's what it is, and it's not going anywhere. It's a movement of identity, of culture. We've lost our culture, and we've lost it intentionally because they have attacked it. They've attacked it, they've demonised it, and they've celebrated every other culture in this country. And as soon as we want to celebrate us, what you saw was the neglected, forgotten, silent majority coming out in their millions. And it was a wonderful day.
Let's have a look at the next one. Palestine protests.
You good? Shame on you! Shame on you!
Keir Starmer didn't come out, or the London Mayor didn't come out on that one, did they? And they're not in riot gear. So have a look at ET on the Patriot Day. Look at the riot gear. This is on the Patriot Day compared to them.
Look, the crime stats are in. They landed about half an hour ago. There have been 423 arrests over the 2 main days of Notting Hill Carnival. 2 people have been stabbed. So the updated number of arrests on Sunday was 200. As of 7:45 p.m. this evening, the number of arrests on Monday was 223. Now, a breakdown of these offences are as follows. So, assault on police, 32, possession of an offensive weapon, 46, possession of cannabis, 70, possession of Class A substances, 32, drug supply, 44, robbery, 5, violence with injury, 4, other violence, 36, sexual offences, 18, other offences, 136.
You can't make that shit up, eh? You literally cannot make that shit up. And again, where was Keir Starmer? And where was Sadiq Khan? Where were they about this? There's only 30 odd arrests at this Patriot Day, and there was over 1 million, let's just say 1 million. 30 arrests. Don't get it. Let's have a look at another one. You get where you're being manipulated and pushed into a corner where you believe that flag or the people that support it are just far-right thugs. It's just simply not true. Bastards, eh?
Reinforcements with helmets and riot shields were deployed to support the 1,000-plus officers on duty. We continue to see significant aggression directed at officers by Unite the Kingdom protesters, police posted on the X platform. At least 9 people were arrested, but police indicated many other offenders had been identified and would be held accountable. Police estimated that Robinson drew about 110,000 people, while the rival March Against Fascism protest, organized by Stand Up to Racism, had about 5,000 marchers. The marches had been largely peaceful, but toward the late afternoon, Unite the Kingdom supporters threw items at the rival rally and tried to break through barriers set up to separate the groups. Officers had to use force to keep a crowd control fence from being breached, the police said.
If I was there and they were standing on the other side of the barrier, I'd be pissed off calling me fascist. They're just fucking lefty fucking wankers, and Jeremy Corbyn was one of them. And that Diane Abbott, think about it. Fucking nut jobs. Dumb as fuck. And I say this again and again and again with these people, right? You can educate an idiot. They're educated, but they're still a fucking idiot, like Jeremy Corbyn and all the others, and that David Lemmy, for fuck's sake, in the Labour power. Rachel Reeves, all of them. So, you get it? Riot gear. That's intimidating. Blood's going to flow, isn't it? The idea is, what happened to the Bobby on the street back in the day? What happened to the Notting Hill ones where they're all in their white shirts and stuff and their stab jackets? Hey guys, and yeah, good on you. What's wrong with that? Rather than going, stand back, stand back, stand back, whack, right, fuck, that's it, he hit my mate, and then it kicks off. What happened to deployment? They didn't want it. The government really wanted a riot. And they didn't get it, did they? So look at the next one. We're near the end. Keep subscribing. Come on.
Keir Starmer, I don't think you remember what you said. Let me remind you.
If you don't like the changes that we've made, I say the door is open and you can leave.
That's what you told the people of England. Your own people. The very men and women who built this land, who fought for its freedom, who carried its weight on their backs. You spoke like a ruler, not a servant. Like this nation was yours to give away and not ours to defend. But September 13th proved you wrong. We will not take your door. We will not walk away. We are not guests in our homeland. We are its heartbeat. You may sit in office, but the soul of this nation will never belong to you. It belongs to its people. And we will stand. We will march and we will rise together United we stand. United we fight for our future. This is only the beginning.
That's powerful, eh? That is powerful. I said to a few expats, we're in a group, and we all agreed if this was happening 25 years ago, I would never have left the UK. I wouldn't. I'm so proud of these people that are standing up right now. I had a lot more clips. What I do, I actually look at a clip and then I save it and put it in my message box, and then later on I re-record it so it comes up clearer and better, and then cut it all down so it's at the original size and just clean it up a little. But I always promote their name. This one didn't because it was reposted from TikTok and I'm not on TikTok. 3/4 of them have been deleted, and I get people messaging me saying they're too scared because, you know, there's 30 arrests a day every single day of the week in the UK because of stuff they've posted online. So 2/3 have been deleted of the stuff before I got to re-record it and hold it on at my computer to share it with you. So let's have a look at this is a bit of a joke. The BBC spin, if they bothered. I couldn't find hardly anything on the BBC that was nice. This would be a big...
First up, Notting Hill, where Metropolitan Police congratulated attendees' behaviour on the day. Meanwhile, in central London, police were disgusted with the racist, Islamophobic and, quite frankly, vile behaviour shown by 9 members of the tiny, minuscule gathering that barely anyone went to.
That was just a joke, of course, because they are a joke. The BBC, do you know the funniest thing about the BBC, and I haven't paid a TV licence even when I was in the UK since 1990, it's not in law you have to pay for one. All right, and I've done this before. When they knock on your door and you say, I refuse to be in a contract with you, fuck off. You are trespassing. They've got no legal right to make you sign a contract. Figure that out. But the BBC, if that was the BBC, you're paying for the BBC that is controlled by Whitehall and everyone else in higher government to tell you what you should think. You're paying them to tell you what you should think. BBC should have nothing to do with the government whatsoever. So I'm going to finish on Hannah again. Her final words. These are really, really important. And then I'm going to leave you with a few images and Vera Lynn. This is Vera Lynn during the Second World War to rally everybody around. I've used it in the past before, all right? But this is to make you feel patriotic. Just don't cut off when she starts. Just listen to the words. And play it loud and be proud. Be proud whether you're white, brown, pink, green, whatever. Not green, because, pink, Les? They're fucking lefty fucking nut jobs. You know what I mean? Celebrate every colour that is British. Let's have a word from Hannah. She's gorgeous.
When did we forget that the government works for us, not the other way around? We're living in this authoritarian, almost dystopian nightmare where ordinary people are chastised like children, where you can't speak your mind without worrying about being arrested for a so-called thought crime or for causing someone alarm or distress. Starmer stood in front of the world, stood in front of Trump's face and lied again, dodging a straight question about free speech and justice in the UK this week. Let me give you the numbers. Every year, around 1,200 people in Britain are arrested over things they've said online. Social media posts, comments, words. Now, compare that to America. There, the number is around 50 a year. And let's be real, the only reason those people will have been arrested is for direct threats against the president's life or something like that. That's the difference. One country still remembers free speech. The other, ours, is criminalising it. We don't serve the government serves us. And the sooner people wake up to that, the sooner this nonsense ends.
I give you a toast, ladies and gentlemen. I give you a toast, ladies and gentlemen. May this fair land we love so well in dignity and freedom dwell. The worlds may change and go awry, while there is still one voice to cry. There'll always be an England, while there country lane. Wherever there's a cottage small beside a field of grain, there'll always be an England while there's a busy street. Wherever there's a turning wheel, a million marching feet. Red, white and blue, what does it mean to you? Surely you're proud, shout it aloud, Britain's awake. The Empire too, we can depend on you. Freedom remains, these are the chains nothing can break. There'll always be an England, and England shall be free. If England means as much to you as England means to me.